Excellent.
Yes,
Hi,
'cause they
everybody.
moved.
Hello.
Hello, I'm
Hey.
Caroline Darney, USA Today for the win. I'm so excited to talk with all three of you. I absolutely love the movie. And Dwayne, I'm going to start with you. You're an athletic guy, so from a wrestling background, but did you have to pick up any new skills or did you find anything particularly challenging when prepping for a role like this that focused on Mark Kerr, UFC fighting, that type of background?
I think the entire role was challenging, the most challenging role that I'd ever experienced in my life. And I don't know, I feel like there's life before Smashing Machine and then life after Smashing Machine. Becoming Mark Kerr uh, was just incredibly difficult to do because Benny came to me early and he said, I'm not quite too sure how to put this, but I think you need to get bigger and you need to get puffier, he was saying, and but I knew what that meant. But I
You
also
need to
knew
work out.
you need to work out. Stop
I don't know what
slouching.
you've been doing.
Let yourself go.
I really like to go.
Oh, this fucking guy. But I also knew that it meant putting on about 30 to 32 pounds or so, but of different kind of muscle quality. So Mark Kerr had the kind of body at his prime was just bananas. It was just unbelievable. The separation in his muscles, fast twitch because he's a wrestler.
The tight waist.
The very tight waist,
Yeah.
big quads, massive shoulders, massive traps, because of all the movement that he was doing. So as I put on the weight, I had to train with MMA coaches and MMA fighters because I had to make sure that I stayed limber and fluid with my movements. And so but I think between that and the prosthetics and the vocal transformation, I was, and not only that, but I spent a lot of time with Mark to get to know Mark and get to know his psyche at that time, not only as a fighter, but probably more importantly than that was just what he was feeling back then as a man and the pain he was going through, perhaps more importantly than that, the shame he was going through, because while he looked invincible and he was the greatest fighter on the planet, he was marred by demons in his life and addiction, and he did his best to hide that. So all of that, I say, it was the hardest thing I've ever done.
It was a beautiful performance, and Benny, that kind of ties in a little bit with what I want, because there's so many questions I have, but the first one I want to make sure I get to is the last scene. I legit sobbed because there was something so beautiful about. I just would love to know the process of deciding to use Mark. I'm gonna get like sad again thinking about it, but also the having him with that like kind of bewilderment that was. They're telling my stories. What I took from it, I don't know if that's what.
Goosebumps.
That's
Yes,
exactly it.
exactly it.
Like
Yes.
I sobbed, and the whole
Oh.
movie was so moving. But like that moment to hear him, I'm gonna get like emotional again. But anyway, I'll let you talk about it because I would love to hear your thought process on it.
Yeah, that was like that was really early on that I kind of realized that like it's important to see him now because he's okay. That was the biggest thing is that he's okay. He's been through all of this stuff, and yet here he is, as gentle, as kind to the person, who making small talk. And I wrote that he returns the cart. He's like, I'll never not be able to return a cart again. And I was like, that's fine. It's like, but it was really important just to see him because it also was like, the documentary was in 2001, and now we're still filming him. We're still following him. After all these years, he's like, you guys still find me important, And it was really like my way of showing that, And then he addresses the audience because we've been watching him. And specifically, I was so confident that Dwayne would just become this other person that when the cut happens to 2025, it's almost like there's no difference between the person you've just been spending time with and the person you're looking at. And it was almost like that was an important thing to see.
Yeah.
Just to know like, okay, we really lived inside that person's head.
Yeah.
And we felt everything that he felt. And now we're seeing him in real life. And you get to kind of have that feeling of like, I guess it's like what I imagine empathy to feel like.
Yeah.
Is like, that's kind of what I was trying to do is like, by having that feeling of being in his head and then seeing the person and then being like,
I lost it. I absolutely lost it. My
amazing.
time is up. Sorry, Emily, I had a question for you. You were
No,
fantastic.
don't worry. That
Go
was
for it.
no.
No,
It was
yeah.
bliss talking
Okay.
to
Yeah.
you. No, I love listening to them. It's
Okay, good.
awesome.
I loved it. You all were fantastic. Dawn
Oh,
was
thank you.
a revelation. She was unreal. So all three of you, thank you. I
Thank
loved
you for
it.
your questions. It was so
Yeah.
insightful.
Really beautiful
Yeah,
that you
thank
picked up
you.
on that.
Yeah,
it
it's
was
amazing.
Awesome. It was awesome.
Yay. And Dwayne, if you're ever back in Charlottesville, go Who's. So come on back. up.
Hey, I'm on back there all the time. I was just there last week.
Excellent. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
Have a
you.
good one.
See ya.
This was awesome. Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.